So Jason, we've had a lot of conversations planning this conference, and now it's here. So how has the actual experience of it compared to your expectations?
Well, I think as a part of the planning committee, you always have high expectations. And want it to be awesome. But I think it's met every expectation. And the sessions have been packed. The number of people that are here, all the range of positions that they hold. From a VP position down to somebody who's managing social media on a day-to-day basis. I think all those things have been really great and have made the conference just really rich.
What do you think the themes are that have emerged that people are really talking about?
I think that it varies. I mean, the themes, though, that I think have come up over and over again have been around integration, have been around measurement, have been around the importance of digital, obviously social and some of the tactical things that are happening on social. But this real sort of sense that marketing has got to get really, really strategic, and that the functions that we serve and support have got to be integrated with organizational objectives. And it's really, I think, refreshing to actually see our industry be at that kind of place now for the first time. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the sessions change and morph and track in the future as we become even more integrated and even more strategic. It'll be interesting to see if we start to get people that are even from other disciplines and other parts of the institution. Are we going to see more people from student affairs? Are we going to see more people from admissions? Are we going to see more people that may even be, supporting individual sort of areas of the institutions that they represent?
Yeah, I've been struck by this theme of partnerships that I don't think we've had a student affairs person speak before. And this theme of, working together against common goals, I think is really exciting.
Yeah, and one of the things that I mentioned in my keynote was, owning your seat at the table and then not getting up. And I meant that from the stance of, marketing obviously needs to take a leadership role. But I also think that when you do that, there's an inherent responsibility. Marketers can be the ones that are forcing that integration that's really, really hard right now. And that was one of the cool things to hear, to hear Ken Elmore actually talk about, how the marketing communications office was coming to him, and he was open to strategic, recommendations, and they were open to him.
Right.
And that kind of partnership, I think, really starts with strong leadership and marketing being at the right place in the organization.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
Something struck me today in Mary Baglivo's presentation that took me back to something you talked about yesterday. And I don't think you really talked about it expressly, but she was talking about the power of emotion in branding. And when I was thinking about how, looking at the work you presented yesterday, it struck a very strong emotional chord in me. So I'm wondering, did you have a lot of discussions in your team about the emotional side of the brand?
Yeah, we really did. I mean, it was interesting. We went, in our market research, we went back and looked at research that was done even before I joined UC. And there were these rational statements that were in there about, the university's impact on the economy, or, the way that we serve healthcare in the state. And then when we did our new market research, those rational statements like that tracked almost exactly to where they were, 5-10 years ago. Yeah. But then we asked an emotional question of, how connected are you? How much does UC impact your life? And all of a sudden it was these modifiers, me, my, your, and the numbers dropped significantly from the 75 to 80th percentile down to the, less than 50th percentile. And so we talked about, that it's easy for people to rationally understand what a university does and who it serves. But in order for us to actually motivate people to action, we've got to move them to an emotional space. Right. And that's why, the theme of our whole campaign was really, whether you know it or not, the University of California has impacted your day. And that may be that you're an alum, it may be that you're a current student, it may be that your neighbor is an alum, or your neighbor's kids are thinking about going to UC, or that in California you had a strawberry today. And all of those kind of things, that's what we really needed to get people to understand that there is this emotional place that they're responsible for being and supporting the university. So, emotion I think is so important. And it feels like, you've heard every keynote speaker this week talk about emotion, emotion, purpose, love, like, it's the tears have been out at this conference.
I know. I don't think I've heard the word love used as many times at a conference as I have the last few days.
I think it's really refreshing. I think it really puts not only the things that we're doing, but the way that we're doing them into the spotlight. And I think that's something we have to think about.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for talking to me today.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
happy
appreciate it.
to. Thanks.
Thanks.